play of the game from way down.
1, 2, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob says Nico gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody and good evening. Welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight we're going to see a matchup between Division C West teams Would Tap That and Piecemeal. This is a flex match, so it is outside of the regular season schedule. Always good to see the teams getting their flex matches in the first half of the season. Technically this is still week 4. But we do have our map information. Let's take a look at that. We'll take a look at the standings and then the teams are just about ready here. So our maps here banned out from Wood. Oh, I didn't actually hit the update. My apologies. Oh, that's because I didn't actually put them in. Haha. You know what? Why don't we take a look at the standings for a moment? As it sounds like the teams are ready. And I will put in the bans here. So currently, Piecemeal sitting at 11 points, Would Tap That with 10 points. Now you can see, not a big difference in the points, but 3rd place showing and 7th place showing. Now really, this is tied for 3rd and tied for 5th. So very close in the standings of C West here. And Hartoon. And in a moment, we will have our map bans here. Hey, there we go. All right, so we've got coming out from Would Tap That, the bans on Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. From Piecemeal, we've got the bans on Braxis Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity. They don't like those B maps. And our first pick of the night is going to be on Infernal Shrines, the selection of Piecemeal. As mentioned, we're ready to go in the draft here. Mudge isn't with me tonight. Let's turn that off. And these teams are already hot to trot, ready to go. We're going to see the Deathwing, Lunara, and Johanna bans out so far. Does Oriole make it through the draft tonight? She doesn't. But we are going to see ETC, the first pick here for Mr. Mongoose. I gotta tell you, one of my first experiences in NGS was playing against the Holy Cow, Divine Mosh, which was played by none other than the Mongoose. We lost that setup. Now, this is oops, I'm writing down the wrong heroes for the bands here. This is gonna be a fun and exciting time here. So we've seen Tlems play the Probius, and it was brutal. I need to get this down a little. Hold on. I adjusted the camera just a little bit there because my cat knocked it around. Uther's going to be the 3rd and final ban here from Piecemeal, and Mal'Ganis going away. By the way, also getting the Chromie from Pet Wolverine here, so a lot of potential blow up from the Probius Chromie combo. And what do we see now? Kael'thas is a good pickup on this map. He works well on the point. He works well to spread your team apart. And these heroes don't have a whole lot of health. Even, in a way, even ETC, although he does have the potential for that armor anytime he uses his abilities. Anubarak and Phoenix going to be the pickups here. And there we go. And it's going to be Stukov and rounding it out with the Urel. Yrel, a hero that has not seen a ton of play, but I gotta wonder if that's not in some ways a mistake in various divisions. I feel like Yrel is super strong right now, but she just hasn't made her way back into the meta. Thanks for the bit, Silvara, much appreciated. Calling out go for Mongoose and would tap that. We've got Megan 420 over here as well, and the final pick gonna be Dahaka, so it's gonna be Dahaka v Yrel in that solo lane. So some pretty squishy backlines, but there's not really significant dive. Really just the Yrel has that potential on the side of would tap that. A new Brack on the side of Piecemeal. Alrighty then. Well, let's get our... How do I get back to my dashboard? Whatever, I'll just do this. Let's get our poll going here. Game number 1 between Would Tap That and Piecemeal. Who do you think's gonna win? You can vote in chat. It will be so up at the top of the chat. So I guess like that direction, basically. So just do the drop down, select who you think's gonna win, and then hit the vote button, and it'll tally those votes. And we know chat's always right when they vote, right? Hey, Megan with the cheer, the biddy hearts. Here we go, folks. Game number one between Would Tap That and Piecemeal. Let's get this going. On the left, we have Would Tap That. Tlems on the Probius, Colonel Pants on the Yrel, Shadonis on the Stukov, Pet Wolverine on the Chromium, Mongoose on ETC. And off to the right, we've got Piecemeal, Odd Thought playing the Phoenix, Dark Knight on the Anubarak, Silver Jackal playing the Kael'thas, MJ Doom on the no, not the Phoenix. MJ Doom on the Dahaka. He's hiding under the Kael'thas there. And Zaloth on the Anduin. Currently 1 vote in chat. Time is running out. You gotta vote. Who you voting for? It's okay. This is not an electoral college of votes. This is simply popular votes. But we are gonna get the time trap there onto the Anubarak. A little bit of damage coming out as well, but ultimately nothing too crazy. The drag coming out onto Mongoose. He's going to hit that face melt, knock the team back. Doesn't want to take too much damage, and also he gets a little bit of armor out of that. So talent-wise, we do see here is it past and future me? Once again, the first time, close to that. So she'll get an extra clone here once she hits heroes 40 times. And it's important to note, too, that the clone shots count toward that 40 as well. So if you get really good, you can do it in about 21 shots. Yrel going into the Light of Karabor, increasing that healing that she gets from her Q talent there. Low blow going to be the case for Stukov, as we see the rotation in onto the siege camp here. On the right side, Odd Thought getting that started. Our vote has been completed. 100% of the votes voting in favor of Would Tap That. We're not going to talk about the fact that only 1 person voted. It happened. It's 100%. All kinds of quest talents here. We got ETC going into Prog Rock and Warp Resonance, so getting those big burst potentials out of the Warp Rift from the Probius. Hey, Mr. Weenus coming in with the 69 bits. Twice. Double 69. Oh no, Alice with arms. Oh, that seems scary to me. You don't know what you've done, Mr. Venus. Oh my goodness. Over here to the right, though, we do have Kael'thas going Mana Addict, so another globe quest here. On the opposite side, also renew the talent here for the Anduin. And I believe that's Arsenal Synergy. It is. So tap, 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 boom for the Phoenix. That's what he's looking for. The Darkstorm talent, giving him that extra spell armor as well. Pretty helpful against both the Yrel, especially if she takes that Avenging Wrath talent at level 7, and against that Chromie, and against the Probius. So really big value talent there for the Dahaka. Gonna be able to increase the survivability pretty significantly. 1 second, I gotta grab a quick buzz. I said buzz, I meant a drink. But you know what? I got Megan420 in chat. I got some of the clouded minds in chat. So, you know what? Call it what you want. Can't vote on mobile. You know what? Fair enough. I can't imagine. They have to have a way that you can access the vote. They have to. Dive coming in, looking for Mongoose. Mongoose falling fairly low is going to power slide away from the Chastise, so is not going to get hit by that root. The Shaman Camp's dueling it out up in the top lane, a little bit closer to Would Tap That's wall. But right now, this is all about Piecemeal, as they are just dominating the skeletal defenders right now. Power slide coming in, looking for this back line here. We've got both Urel and ultimately ETC was there too, but he kind of got stalled out by the front line. Silver Jackal here, very low. Dahaka and Nubarak taking those chromie shots that otherwise would have obliterated that Kael'thas. And now the skeletal defenders evening out a bit, 27 to 30. Gonna be very close here. Burrow charge coming in from Dark Knight, looking for the ETC. And Would Tap That taking the lead. We're gonna see Dahaka get zoned out as level 7's picked up here for Piecemeal. But this first Punisher is gonna go over to Would Tap That. Al with the hands, I could believe it. That little punk today, I'm not even gonna tell you, I'll come back to that. But the Punisher gonna get pulled over the wall, getting a little bit of hit onto the Nubarak, bringing him fairly low. Has to be a little careful, because if he steps too far forward, this ETC could pop off a power slide and suddenly you've got a squished bug. But Kael'thas getting with that burned flesh, that extra 8% of health damage is gonna get some value there. Did get that Flame Strike onto a couple of heroes, and that's what you got to do. You got to hit 2 heroes, and suddenly there's a massive burst of damage. Expect to see at level 16 that double flame strike talent as well. Me can't, me shall. Exactly. Mobile voting for Megan, no doubt, right? Like, come on. Twitch, get the program going here. So Weenus, how was your stream, or is it coming up? Oh, yours is probably coming up, isn't it? Did I miss that? Did I catch that? I didn't see it. But I must have caught it, because I think I was on the right section there. Root going out onto Urel. She is, however, going to steal away this siege camp here, forcing the rest of Piecemeal to back away. Something happened to my Twitch activity feed, so I'm just going to go ahead and close that out. Hopefully I'm able to catch everything that happens out there. But with this bottom siege camp being picked up and level 10's not far away, especially getting the towers here, this opens up a lot. Now the next Punisher is in the top lane, so ultimately that's the lane that both teams want to get some pressure in before the objective spawns if they can. Get the wall, get the well maybe. Mongoose taking a lot from that living bomb, but here's the level 10s coming up. It's going to be Mosh Pit, it's going to be Flailing Swipe, Slowing Sands, Ardent Defender, and Nullgate. So all kinds of opportunities to slow heroes, and especially coming into areas like this here with the Steam Vent or over here, and that could lead to some very easy moshes for the ETC. Zoltos, you got it. All right, well, Zloth here trying to run through the Nullgate. Massive slow. They're going to get the knockback, and that's going to be the second kill, getting it onto the Anduin. Urel fairly low here, and Phoenix coming in with the Purification Salvo. Dark Knight is going to make it out with just the 20s of health here. Stukov barely surviving that Pyroblast as well. But that's going to force Dark Knight to go back as the fort now going down in the mid lane here. So yeah, Weenus, did you is your cast at what, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern? Is that when it is? Just checking. All right, let's see if I can get that activity feedback up as we have our teams making their way up here. They want to get up to these shrine defenders, especially Piecemeal. They want to be here well enough in advance so that they don't have to walk through those big slows that we talked about earlier. The warp coming out here, ETC looking at the Anduin. The light bomb going out is going to get the stun onto ETC, but he's going to get a mosh pit barely onto the Anubrak. Oh, maybe not, because Anubrak got the cocoon. Stukov going to be the first to fall here, and ETC looking to be the second, maybe? Nope. They're going to get Phoenix next, and ETC is somehow, by the skin of his beefy hide, going to make it out of there. Oh, but Anduin's not, and that is a perfect example of what I was talking about before this game started, of the blow-up potential out of Probius. Not only did he get slowed in those warp rifts, but when it's set up correctly, oh my goodness. And with that level 1 talent, which is already completed, that's another big burst of damage. There's 3 of them there. And it looks like Piecemeal electing to go ahead and just give this one up. They say, you know what? We're not going to get this. Let's get other stuff going on the map. And this is probably the hardest one to come into when you've got a Probius Chromie combo here. They have no way into it. Everything is slowed. Every potential direction they could come in gets isolated and just blown up. Can't come through the bush because there's double warp rifts in there, and as soon as you walk into it, you just die, as we saw for Anduin. And with this Frozen Punisher here, still sitting 75% health, would tap that. Now making their way onto the keep wall, looking for this bait, but who they get it? It's going to be onto the Anubrak, so it's coming over the wall. Everything's shut down here. Well, just one half of it. The sidewall going down now, so Chromie trying to get some additional poke damage onto the Piecemeal team. And once again, now, if Dark Knight's not careful here, this Punisher might be able to actually take him out, but the root and punch damage there doing a lot of work. Looks like top keep is going to go down from this second Punisher of this game here. And would tap that. Going to go ahead and take the opportunity now to make use of the Punisher's presence and disengage their assault, ultimately taking both top and fort and keep on this one Punisher. And they're going to keep up with the aggression, so both of the mid and bot camps were picked up during that, so a little bit of pressure coming out from Piecemeal, but ultimately not a great trade. And I don't know there's much they could do about it. Again, they kind of had to give up that positioning on that top point. So because of all the zoning utilities here that would tap that has. Looking for a bit of a bush gank here. ETC goes power sliding in. Doesn't quite land that slide onto who he wants to. Dahaka up in the top lane here, and we do see the rotation up into top. Presumably, you're all just going to gather this XP, keep the pressure going, and rotating down into the bot lane. Going to clear this up. They got a little bit of a minion wave here, so ETC is going to get the power or the cocoon rather, and Anubrak, I don't know. Looked like he was diving for the ETC, but he knew that that's who he put the cocoon on. So I don't know. Maybe a misclick on one of the abilities there. ETC looking. Now this is all even fights here, so they're all on even talent tiers. The only difference is the slight difference in health and damage from having that additional level. Woodtap that's been very aggressive in this game so far, and that's put Piecemeal in a little bit of an awkward place here. I feel like in general they could be a little bit more aggressive than they are and potentially get onto, say, you know, the Probius, who doesn't have the greatest mobility in the world, but they just haven't been able to do that without exposing somebody in their backline, whether it's, you know, the Kael'thas or the Anduin. And we're going to see a bit of a trade here. The bottom fort for the top Shaman camp, and I don't think that's very even in this case. Gets them some XP. They can start on this wall. And I guess it denies the camp there from going over to wood tap that. So they do get something out of it. Cocoon is out on the ETC, so they won't have that for the point. Level 16 available here for wood tap. Yeah, for wood tap that as well. And we're gonna see here Urel taking that. What is this talent? Templar's Verdict. So she's gonna have 20 armor reduction for 4 seconds and deal additional 7% of their health and damage. So against your Phoenix or Kael'thas, that 7% is not that big of a deal, but that 20 armor reduction is. Level 16 is available now for both teams here. Urel going deep into the back, and Phoenix gonna warp out. And this is kind of what I was talking about. They're playing very defensive. Urel is on an island. She is 100% by herself here, and they're not getting the turn, but they do get the tongue. There's the Ardent Defender. ETC did not try to mosh. Looked like maybe that was a possibility there. And that's, you know, that's the power of Urel at this point. She has that Ardent Defender. She can be very aggressive, but they just needed to find a way to get the stuns at the right time so that she couldn't. The Dark Knight falling very low here. Pyroblast gonna be the end of ETC's life as Anub'arak falling next. And it looks like Kael'thas is maybe gonna make it out of this. Missing the Gravity Lapse, the stun coming in onto Anduin. Dahaka coming in here was below the team, below the overall fight here, and is just trying now to do whatever zoning Dahaka can, as Urel coming in now has that big jump plus stun combo. The Punisher is going to go over to would have that. They're trying to get the Urel, and they finally do get her. So the Punisher now got to be a little careful. There's some low health bars over here on Piecemeal, and ultimately this should be a, I don't want to say it's an easy clear, because it still isn't. I mean, if they take any damage here, they just potentially die when they take that leap. So they got to be a little bit careful, but they do have the potential now to clear this out, get the full damage from the towers, from the keep. So it's not going to do nearly as much damage as it could if the tanks on the side of wood tap that were available. Key saying they let them play their comfort heroes. It would seem so. The bands, Key, since you weren't here, I don't believe, for that came out from Piecemeal were Johanna, Oriel, and then Uther. So definitely some adjustments probably coming in the next game. But Anub'arak missing on that Impale there. The Chastise coming out onto ETC, keeping the team available to kind of spread out here. And you see here ETC trying to bait somebody, like, yeah, come on into these warp rifts, don't worry, there's nothing here. It certainly isn't nearly as bad as a Abathur bush mine bush, whatever. Getting the powers, or the burrow charge in. Here comes the mosh pit onto 3. Light bomb coming out will get the interrupt. Kael'thas getting pulled back, but the silence going to keep Phoenix from making it out. So just a one-man kill out of this so far. But is it enough? Again, wood tap that has been very aggressive, and with that, I mean, they can continue to poke out the damage onto this. They got the keep wall. How far do they want to go? They do have the top shaman camp available now. Danger ping's coming out. They know somebody's over there. Where else would they go? Probius daring them to follow, daring them to come through this bush. Now with even more warp rifts. Replay cast. I've got the perfect best of 3 in mind. All right, Ektar. We'll come back to that. Just drop me a note. Leap coming in. Sonya gonna get... Sonya. Urel. Gonna get onto this shaman camp. Now, it is important to note as well, this level 7 talent here, in case you don't know. You don't have to hit an enemy hero with Avenging Wrath at a maximum charge. If you have a maximum charge, it does 25% more damage. Period. End of story. So just letting everybody out there know that that's the case. Whether that's intended or not, who knows, but that's how it currently works. Level 20s available now for wood tap that. So I expect them to be, could I say, more aggressive than they have been? I mean, they've already been pretty aggressive, but At this point, I feel like they could just simply say, you know what, let's just go in the game, and it feels like that would be the next level of aggression. I don't think it's necessarily the right idea, but this is continuing on with the bush gangs here, so looking for the opportunity to pick off somebody coming through this rotation here. So let's see, let's take a look at some of these here. Hitting a Warp Rift with Disruption Pulse causes 4 additional pulses that deal 50% damage to be fired from the impact. Oh my goodness. Well, and if he's got 3 or 4 of those Warp Rifts up already, like, look at that. That's 12 shots coming out from that. If he hits somebody with that, they're just gonna melt. It doesn't matter who. Well, there goes the Light Bomb hitting onto 2, Cocoon onto the Stukov here. They get the Burrow Charge in onto Chromie. They're looking for it. They do get it. Wolverine down. Mongoose the next to fall here. So already 2 kills for Piecemeal coming in. I don't even think they had their level 20s when they started that. I think that they actually came into that just before the level 20s. So there you go. Nice couple of kills, and starting with the Chromie. And good on them to recognize too the danger bush, right? Because again, that was gonna be the end of somebody's day. So we also have the tour bus. We've got the controlled chaos, being able to knock people around one shot at a time. We've got the piercing sand, so piercing sand's going to do a lot of work on these points, but also just onto these teams. Again, funneling through these control points makes it real easy to hit 3, 4 heroes with that. We also have here the Seraphim giving unstoppable to Urel, as I lose a dog here jumping onto the chair she missed. But anyways, Anduin here with the enchant boots lion speed, gonna make it out of there. Also, so take a look at this. We have some other interesting towns. We got Desperate Prayer. You know, I don't mind that. That's a big burst heal. Yeah, you stand around for 2 seconds, but it's not easy necessarily to recognize that unless you are actively watching the Anduin. And it's not picked up that often. So, you know, Woodtap that may not even know. We do have the Flamethrower here from Kael'thas, giving him that extra range. The Contagion, that's going to be huge from Dahaka. And here comes the fight. There's the Purification Salvo, got interrupted. Mongoose here getting rooted by the Punisher. Anduin getting that Light Bomb out. The Unstoppable used for Colonel Pants there. He's going to be able to make it all the way back using that Ardent Defender. And it's going to be Cocoon going out onto ETC. Punisher's still sitting about half health here. No ults on the side of Piecemeal. And here comes, they do have Mosh Pit and the Flailing Swipe, so they've got the potential here if they can get a good mosh with that tour bus. That's a whole 6 seconds, but Urel does not have Ardent Defender. She used it earlier, so she's got to pull back. And Piecemeal's going to go ahead and pull back as well. So ultimately getting a keep down once again, another Punisher in the top lane, making it all the way through the keep. Looking really good there for Piecemeal. So getting some life in this for a good long while. It looked like Woodtap that was just in control of the map, and then once we get to level 20, made it a little bit more difficult for Woodtap that to make that aggressive play. Also secondary fire here, so getting those, when you get that laser, throwing out that extra little purification salvo bullet. That was kind of neat watching the Warp Rift get hit. I've literally never seen that. Kind of like watching the piercing javelins from Cassia go through a line, and then there's just javelins going everywhere. One of my favorite towns in the game, actually. Really like that one. So the team's electing to stay away from each other for now. Now, the next Punisher is going to be in the mid lane here. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher. And we've got a brief pause here, so we'll be back into that in a moment. One guy lagging. But at least, you know, our teams they're not in the middle of a fight, so that's good. Damn Wi-Fi, they say, should only take a moment. So this has turned into a game. It started off, like I said, Would Tap That was very much in control, getting a lot of the camps, being aggressive, getting the keeps. They still have the structure advantage. Piecemeal has only gotten the top fort and keep down, whereas Would Tap That has gotten down all of the structures except for the mid keep. So definitely still the advantage here for Would Tap That. There's constant catapult pressure in multiple lanes. But Piecemeal with those level 20s really showing that they're not there's a reason that they're where they are in the standings and why these standings are so equal. These teams have found their footing, and this next fight could very well be the end of the game, depending on who they kill, where they kill them, how quickly they kill them, what ultimates are available. Hey, it's Valkymer. Welcome, Valkymer. How's your mom doing? You know what? If I said that to anybody else, that would sound like I was being awkward. But truthfully, Valkymer's mom is the love of all of NGS. Did we get a pause? We did get a pause, yeah. And it sounds like we're all good, so just waiting on them to start the countdown here. Anytime now. I think I need to unpause. That is... Oh. All right, unpaused. There we go. All right, so... Once again here, the teams were in separate parts of the map. Now, Would Tap That, again, has been very aggressive the whole game. It wasn't until this top control, until this top shrine, that they ended up having the aggression kind of maybe backfire on them a little bit, just because of the fact that it exposed their flank. So will they continue to do so? Are they going to try to set up a party bush here somewhere and see if they can't get a gank in with that warp rift? And we are going to see here exactly that. Looking for the party bush, they're going to try to set up a, hey, look at us, we're over here. But Kael'thas says, you know what? I'm not playing that game. So with a siege camp and one catapult, they're coming in through the bot lane here. But not for far, not very far, not for long. The Haka is not with Piecemeal, so they're gonna get a rotation though. No Gate's gonna go up here. Dahaka's got to try to find a way. He uses that brush stalker to get away here. We're gonna see Mongoose getting into the cocoon. The warp rift's coming out to protect him, but here we go. There's the silence ardent defender going out to keep Yrel nice and healthy. That is a nice long cooldown now, 120 seconds that they were able to burn. So definitely the worth trade in favor there of Piecemeal. And now Yrel has to be a little bit more careful. Yrel has been remarkably aggressive, and again, using the Impale in this case to scout these bushes, extremely helpful. And as mentioned earlier, we've got multiple ways to block off entrances into the shrine here, as Odd Thought getting slammed there from Yrel. Getting very low here, doesn't have the kind of free death shield. Anub'arak diving hard, trying to get in there, can't quite get the kill onto Yrel, and instead it's going to be Phoenix and Anub'arak dying there. And now MJ Doom going in, trying to get the stun out, ultimately going to fall. Anduin as well, and I think the call now is just to go to the core. They've got enough push here. Heck, they've got enough push in the middle to just knock this over on their way. And they're going to get right onto this core. Would Tap That. The GG's being called, as unless Kael'thas has some just absolute crazy magic, this is going to be game number 1 going over to Would Tap That. Gun game, says Mongoose. All right, let's take a look at these stats. So overall here, the Chromie the number one damage on the game here, 82,000, 68 for Kael'thas. Big burst ahead of the other DPS on the teams there. And even the kill count here, up until that very last fight, was 6-5. So ultimately, you know, these teams were very close. Would tap that would just get, you know, one kill and be a little bit ahead throughout the game. And ultimately, it was their victory. There you go. You want that? All right, let's give them their point. So, Ektar, what game did you want to see replay cast? You didn't put it in the notes, so to my knowledge, I cannot read minds just yet, so you'll have to help me out with that one. Now, Would Tap That said that they were needing a moment, so we're going to give them that moment to try to work out their connection issues here. And we're going to reach out to Dark Knight and find out if they want first pick or map pick. I cannot whisper, Dark Knight. Okay, how about that? Let's see what's going on over here. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay, so they want first pick, so that means that wherever we go, it is going to be the map pick of Would Tap That. GG called out by Megan. That was a good game. Got a little bit of a pause that kind of slowed down the energy, but overall, that was a really enjoyable game. Sometimes, like certain games, some games when their stomps are fun just because of the fact that it's fun to see the way that a team tries to defend. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't work out, but it can still feel really fun to see the combos that the winning team makes work, the combos that the losing team tries to make work. You know, how do they try to defend against whatever, you know, they're losing against? So those can be fun, but the really tight ones like this can be a lot of fun too. And then of course the base races, right? It's always fun seeing a double core call and both teams are like, we got this, and then one team doesn't, and then it feels bad for that team. Not saying that I had that happen this week, but it might have happened. Let's ping Ektar, see what he says. Alrighty, so since we've got a couple of minutes here, I'm gonna go ahead and put us on a short break. We'll be back in a couple minutes, and you know what? It was mentioned that we haven't seen the Ragnaros and Varian in a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the Ragnaros and Varian, whatever called thing. Let's see, where'd that go?
King has fallen. A father. A friend. A warrior. Defender of the Alliance. He was a beacon of hope. A leader without measure. A man who would never accept defeat. He was our shield against the storm. Wherever he has gone, Varian Rin will remain a hero. Always.
Alright everybody, welcome back. We're done with our break. And we do have our teams. Looks like hopefully we're about ready to go here. It took a few moments as the Woodtap that just wanted to clear up their connection issues. So let's take a quick peek at our maps here. Hopefully that's not screwing up for everybody else. Yeah, okay, let's go back over here. Crazy. OBS is doing weird things today. Not entirely sure why, but let's see if maps works this time. Yeah, okay. So we're just not doing maps. Cool. Never mind. Well, anyways, we're going to Alterac Pass next. All right, so just letting the teams know I'm ready. We've got a ready out of one team. Hopefully the other is ready soon. Yeah, we'll tap that. Ready? Let's see if they are ready to go here. Hopefully they are. I want to get this going. All right, they're ready to go. Starting it up. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Into the draft. 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned, it is Alterac Pass. And just out of coincidence, I don't know how often this has been played in Division C, but it has been played in Division B, both East and West, exactly one time each. Not a very popular map in Division B. So we'll see how this goes. This could be an exciting game. Deathwing, I think, gets a lot of value here, as does Oriole. So I expect to see both of those heroes continuing their bans. But you know who else could potentially get a lot of value here? Probius, right? Like this, for the same reason as Infernal Shrines. Those corridors are narrow. There are very few entry points into the zones there. So we're gonna see the Johanna ban. We're gonna see the Deathwing ban. If this isn't a Probius ban, then I think Piecemeal just writes this off. They're considering which way do they want to go. I don't know, guys. It is not the Probius ban. They do have first pick. I don't expect them to take Probius. That would be interesting. What do we see over here? So last time they picked up early in the game the Kael'thas Anduin. So this time they've banned out the Anduin. They had banned out the Uther. Yeah, Lunara was banned out, so we might see a Lunara. All right, well, you know what? It's on Piecemeal to show. They left it up. So it's on them to show that they're not worried about this Probius. That they can take him out. Right, Key? Right? Oh no, Garrett, what? Garrett, what? All right, I'm telling you, Piecemeal, when you guys come back and watch this, you are gonna be like, Arrow's not confident in what we've got going on, because he is not. I am not confident, and I'm hoping, guys. I want to see a crazy, like, I want you to have cracked the Probius code, but right now I'm not seeing it. So far, Stukov gonna be the third ban here, and what do we get here from Piecemeal for their final ban? Chromie. Okay, so I don't know, chat. Lucio gonna be the healer pickup for Shadonis, and it's gonna be Rexar for Colonel Pants. By the way, with that point, that actually puts would tap that now tied with Piecemeal. That's right, because they're that close. What do we get? Jaina, Garrosh, Lunara. They need a healer. They need somebody for the off lane. And presumably it's going to be somebody that can deal with the Probius on one of these. Alright, so maybe the Leoric goes in with an Entomb. And Gul'dan going to be the final pickup here for Wolverine. At least one target ban. I mean, I think the rest are still target bans. I mean, those are, you know, Mongoose plays a solid Johanna, and if I remember correctly, Johanna plays pretty well on the Anduin. So I mean, they are still target bans. I just don't know that they're worse than what we're seeing. Mongoose is also very comfortable in the ETC, and presumably Shadowna's perfectly fine on the Lucio as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who is going to win game number 2? What? Oh, crap. Well, hopefully we get to see game number 2, because holy cow. F in chat. We'll come back to this for a moment. Uh-oh, this is not a good sign. One second, everybody. Technical difficulties as the game just straight up crashed. The good news is that it's right at the beginning, so maybe they'll pause for me. Hopefully. Rejoin. All right, let's see if we can get in on this game. Desync. Maybe it was everybody. See if there's anything in chat. There's nothing in chat. So would tap that coming in with the two votes. So give me just a second here. It would be most unfortunate if it was... Oh, wait. Of course now I get in. Of course I get in when everybody's leaving. Oh my gosh. You hate to see it. Oh man. Well, they were kind enough to wait. So yeah. Sorry guys, when you come back and watch this, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but really appreciate everybody doing the reset. Let's get this remade, custom, Alterac. All right, give me a second, folks. Sorry for the delay here. And go to that, and first pick was Piecemeal, I think? Yeah. Swap team, let's get everybody on the right sides here. Swap team, Outdot, Sloth. And Silverjack will stop with Colonel Pants. There we go. All right, let's set these people as the right captains. We're gonna do a quick zip through the draft so that everything is set correctly. TLV, do you guys need a reminder of order? Or are we good? Okay, Silverjacker is good. I'm not sure if Mongoose is being serious or not. Okay. All right, so draft. I set myself as a referee so that I can call out what's what. This looks familiar, folks. Then Garrosh, Jaina. Okay. Then the bands. I already told them the bands. Stuke band. There's that. Then we got Rexar, Lucio next. We got Leoric, and then finally the Golden. All right. Fingers crossed, guys. Hopefully we don't have issues loading into the game this time. Dino. Fun and exciting night. Everybody's computer's having fun. Wonder if those maps show. I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna screw with it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I don't want to give it the potential for this thing to get all annoyed. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, I think we've already made it farther than we did last game. Last game just like puked right there, so I think we're good. All right, let's get our teams introduced. Game number 2 here between Would Tap That on the left here and Piecemeal on the right. All right, so for Would Tap That, we have Mongoose playing ETC. We have Tlems playing the Probius, Pet Wolverine on the Ghoul, Dan, Colonel Pants on the Rexar, and who am I missing? Shadonis on the Lucio. Over here for Piecemeal, we got MJ Doom playing the Leoric, Odd Thought on the Lunara, Dark Knight on the Garrosh, Zaloth playing the Rhaegar, and Silver Jackal on the Jaina. Questing talents, we've got Fingers of Frost there for Jaina, looking for those globes, getting that eventually 10% additional critical damage from her chill effects. We also have the Warbringer talent here, or Warbreaker? Warbreaker talent for Garrosh. Party mix already sitting at 100 and almost 20 seconds here for the Lucio, as Colonel Pants gonna get thrown, stunned, and eventually taken out. But Silver Jackal also very low from the damage coming out from Gul'dan, nearly falling. 4 stacks of the Warp Rift talent. What is this called anyways? Warp Resonance. And then Prog Rock and Echoed Corruption here. The pickup for the ETC Gul'dan. Now, Alterac Pass, not as big as some of the other maps, like the Cursed Hollow or Sky Temple, but it does have these mud pits in between the lanes, so it does slow down the rotations a bit. So you tend to see a lot of individual solos off in the other lanes. Now, these mid camps here provide the additional armor reduction. You see that here already on the Rhaegar. You're going to see it over here as well. It's also a cleave, so that means that anybody or any structures that are there are going to get this armor reduction with each attack, and I think it's 2 per hit, or might be 4, stacking up to 5 times. But these camps provide a lot of pressure in the mid lane. Also, you'll see here the core, aside from being invulnerable, has 60 armor, and that's because of the forts. So it's very difficult to take down a core on Alterac Pass with 2 keeps up. But that's okay, because the objective does a really good job of taking down keeps if you leave it alone here. So Lunara versus Rexar, Leoric versus Gul'dan here. These are our solo laners, so a little bit of wave clear advantage in favor here of Gul'dan. Now, Leoric going into the paralyzing rage, so a big slow, and then also the fealty unto death. So anytime those minions die, he's going to get extra. Now that's an interesting pick. Okay. So Garrosh, I think, getting the throw over the wall, and ETC not quite able to make it out. Sorry about missing that one there, as I was talking about the Leoric stuff here. Late Merry Christmas, says Mongoose. So the fealty unto death, great in the lane here, but it doesn't really provide a lot of value over these team fights on the points. Now, the thing Leoric does do is he can ghost walk through those warp rifts and not take the damage from it when he shoots them. So again, maybe the Leoric's the answer that they need. Gul'dan gonna be rotated on here. Garrosh coming down, does get the stun flip, and that's gonna be now three kills. Oh yeah, they got the Rexar earlier. So 3 kills in this game already here for Piecemeal. And you know what? They're ahead in the XP thanks to that. They got the siege camp out again. We're going to see the siege camp being picked up as well by Wood Tap that. So both of those will be going in the mid lane. And this is ultimately, I mean, Piecemeal has to do everything they can to get an advantage at the beginning of the game. Because I think once we hit 10, it becomes a significantly more difficult time for them to get into this. Gonna throw the ETC, he's gonna get that power slide, and now Garrosh in the middle of some blue shirts. Rexar coming in behind with Misha, getting the stun. Dark Knight falling very low, but he's gonna get that Bloodthirst out onto the Misha and heal up quite a bit off of that. Colonel Pants, however, has the Lunara chasing him down. The prison camp gonna be picked up for Piecemeal, but not before they lose their Rhaegar. And Lucio and ETC continuing to look for this Leoric here. He's going to get the Spooky Hand to heal up, but ultimately they're going to take out the Garrosh in the mud pits. So 3 kills to 2 now, but the objective coming up in favor of Piecemeal. And overall with those kills, I mean, it still takes a while to kill these. They don't have a ton of health. What is their health actually? 8,600. So I mean, that's like 2/3 of a fort at this point. Forts have yeah, 13,000. So they still have pretty decent health. One person trying to take them down does take a bit of time, so they're gonna get a little bit of damage here, but in all things considered, not as much as it could have been if they had their Rhaegar and their Garrosh going into that, or if they've even gotten a kill encounter. So once again here, would tap that right back onto their siege camp. Want to keep this pressure up in the mid lane. Now, so far, not a lot of damage onto either side wall. Party mix going to be completed there by the Lucio. So he's all done with the 480 seconds combined among all heroes. Now we do have the Pinball Wizard here for ETC, so getting a little bit more damage when he does that Power Slide Face Melt combo. And not that big of a deal to do that with this team either. There's not really anything that's like super urgent, those Tyrande stuns or what have you, that you want to make sure that you're landing. We're gonna see the Null Gate right there in front of the wall here. Still plenty of space to be able to come out. Garrosh was looking for that ETC, but this time ETC says, I'm not falling for your tricks. Down in the bot, we've got Lunara and Jaina. Level 10's picked up now for both teams, as we do see the prison camp being announced. And ready to go in just a few seconds here. Now, Leoric versus Rexar. This is... Oftentimes, I feel like this is a matchup of skill, so whichever player is better is going to ultimately have a little bit better of an advantage, of course. So here we go. This is where we find out how this comp plays out. And I don't think they want to let him get it set up. So Misha's going to get the charge in, but Misha's taking a boatload of damage. The Null Gate is going to keep Odd Thought from coming in on the Lunara there. ETC in that bush takes out the Wisp, so they no longer have vision. Never mind. Wisp is back. Now it's dead. And the big stun onto the front line here of Piecemeal. We're going to see Power Slide in, getting that Pinball Wizard. The Horrify coming out, separating Rhaegar. Janet getting the Ring of Frost in a big mosh pit onto 2. I think Lunar actually walked into it. The throw out for Rhaegar to be able to get the Ancestral. Huge Ancestral. Dark Knight now in danger, though. Has to hit that Bloodthirst. Does get it. And Leoric here still has an Entomb. Probably uses it right here. No? No? Alright. So the health bars on the side of Piecemeal very low. Some of the health bars over here on the side of Would Tap That also very low. I don't know. I think that an Entomb right here, they had like 3 people that they could have easily gotten the kills on. Now, maybe they didn't have abilities. Maybe they didn't have the follow-up that was necessary. Obviously, you know, we're on the looking down from above side of things, so we don't know the full details. But we're going to see the channel started here for Would Tap That. The stun going out onto Rhaegar. Big taunt onto Rexxar. Looking for the kill onto Rexxar. The Entomb is out. And they're going to get Rexxar, but they're also going to trade out the Garrosh. As Lunar had taken a bunch of damage from the Gul'dan Corruption and is pretty much stuck in the mud pit there. Trying to stall out what she could, but there's just no... They don't have the same front line now with ETC versus Leoric. Having to be extra careful there. They're going to get this siege camp. That's going to help them clear up in the mid lane. As the first cavalry for Would Tap That coming in. All things considered, that went better than I would have thought. You know, 1 kill on either side. It's not super in favor of either team. So we'll see how the pressure comes out now. Because, of course, both teams have all 5 members. Good face melt there to knock the Garrosh back here. The Null Gate again, just so much value. Lunara diving in, getting ETC pretty low, but ultimately between ETC and Lucio, able to keep him relatively healthy pretty quickly after. But the biggest fight is down here in the bot lane. We do have the Leoric and Rexxar fight up here in the top, though. That nearly turned into a death for Leoric as he was trying to fend off the Misha and Rexxar combo there. But the additional damage from the cavalry, if I remember correctly, it's 10% additional damage. And they're looking for something here onto this Rexxar. They do get the Rexxar. And this is now a 4v3 in the bot lane here. Garrosh was maybe looking to try to come around behind, but there are minions here. Indomitable used, so big taunt. Can they kill the ETC? Lunar is trying so hard, not quite able to get in. An Ancestral going out onto the Garrosh, not the target they were looking for, I think, considering the health bar of the Rhaegar there. And we do have this Wisp down in the bottom, so they know they're not coming in through this. The sustain of these teams, 3 kills to 5. Again, last game was 10 kills to 5. You know, we're not seeing big sweeping deaths other than that one fight at the very end of the last game, and really at that point it was kind of an all or nothing thing. But these teams are doing a pretty fantastic job of keeping their heroes alive. Little bit of a look at the bottom boss. But Siege Camp's going to be going in the middle for both teams now. Lyric's making his way to try to clean that up. And we're going to get the rotation up from ETC. Possibly looking for the Leoric. He does get that Wraithwalk off, though, so Leoric is just fine making it out. Did miss the Spectral Hand, so not going to be able to heal up off of the ETC as the Danger Ping's called. Coming up from below, looking for a target, is Garrosh. And now the prison camp's being announced in the bot lane. And we have a full 5-on-5. Would Tap That has a slight advantage towards 16. They also do have a small minion wave on the point there. ETC is going to power slide in, looking for the Leoric. Not quite going to get it. The Boar's coming out here. Ring of Frost is going to whiff. And Leoric does get the hand out this time onto Misha, so Lunara going to get a couple of leaping strikes there. The throw out on ETC, the tower gets the kill, but MJ Doom falling low, and once again the Ancestral missing the target, but they get the kill onto the Misha. And Lunara's not done, wants to get onto this Rexar. Rexar has absolutely no defense against a Lunara by herself, but they're chasing the wrong target. They need to get to this prison camp and get that channel started. Because ETC's back up in 15 seconds, and this is a 50-second duration. 50-second channel. So zoom out so we can see the team as they're looking to come in here. This is the blimp view, the Goodyear blimp. Dark Knight here taking the freest of damage from Probius. Really have to be a little bit more careful about that, especially, you know, now that ETC's coming back here. Getting the Entomb onto Leoric here, but the ETC's going to power slide in, is going to get the big mosh, and there's nothing to be done about it. Lunara even jumps right into it. 3 kills out of it. They're looking maybe for the Lunara getting the slows. They get the Jaina, though, and they can't win the game off of this, but they could potentially get the objective, and certainly leaving Rexar here to deal with it, they can get the bottom boss now. And bottom boss plus the objective probably still isn't enough to win, just with that armor that we talked about earlier. A boss by itself, like, it'll take out the keep, but a full health boss will not take out the core with 40 armor. It's just not going to happen. Not if there are 2 other keeps up. So Leoric is going to try to face off against the Rexar here. The boss is now complete, so we're going to see the rest of Wood Tap that rotate in and get things moving along here. Misha being used to zone out. 10 seconds. And I don't think there's much the Piecemeal can do about this. I think that if they go in on this, they, at best, maybe they can get a kill, but we're going to see the Entomb going out. This time the Ancestral does land onto the Leoric, but he's so slow because of that Nilgate. ETC falling low. Indomitable used there by Garrosh. Big Horrified, though, separating the team, Jaina and Leoric. Everybody's so low, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, all of the value that they got out of that was just to get time, I guess. I don't know. They Piecemeal just took so much damage in that. They didn't lose anybody, so that's good for them. But the boss the whole time was working on this bottom keep wall. And here comes the objective as well. So bot lane needs to be addressed first. It's gonna, actually, I don't even know. The cavalry may not even be enough to really do anything to the core by itself. So I think they could probably just get half of this down and then move on. The only real danger there is if you do that and it gets the core down under, like, I don't know, half or so, and then the team says, oh, you know what, it's half, there's no shield. Then, you know, Wood Tap that could just walk in and finish the game if they're not careful. Jaina gonna work out the top cavalry, and a big taunt there on to Misha. But it's just Misha. Lunara gonna make use of that leaping strike to get out, disengage. Boar's coming in though, and stun from Misha is ultimately going to be the kills required to get the Lunara and Garrosh. Another ETC mosh here. This time it's gonna be just the Rhaegar, but no way out of it. You know, we didn't even really talk about it, but there's no mosh counter. Garrosh, that's it. Maybe a cleanse out of Rhaegar. Yeah, that's it. And I mean, this looks like it's one keep down. This is all you need to win this game, or 2 keeps down. 1 keep left. Would Tap that, looking to finish this game out. They've got level 20s as well now, and there goes the sound barrier just to help make sure that this is nice and clean. They do get another kill onto Leoric right at the last moment there. Alrighty then, so ultimately Would Tap that. Took them a little while to get where they needed to be, but once they did, that game went right into their favor, right into their laps. They got that big mosh in the bot lane at the bottom camp, and then that was, I mean, that was pretty much the end of the game right there, right? I mean, they got the bottom boss, they got the prison camp, and then they pushed in to win. We'll see if we can get somebody in for an interview. let's see. Oh, wrong thing. All right, so we do have somebody coming over. I'm assuming it's Shinonis. It could be somebody else though.
Hello.
Hello there. So, congratulations on your big win there.
Thank you.
That's gotta feel really good because C West. I pointed out the standings. You guys are a tight bunch over there.
Oh yeah, it's I think only 4 points from position 7 to 1.
Yes.
Something
Actually, I think it might have even been 3. Number 1 is at 12. Number 7. Well, actually, technically, you guys were listed as number 7. So 12 to 10. So literally 2 points of difference before the game tonight. With this 2-0 victory, that's going to take you guys from 7th to 1st. Which is a little crazy.
Only a little crazy.
So yeah, so that's pretty fantastic. So how are the team's spirits like coming into this game? Obviously, this is a flex match, so a little bit outside of the standard regular season games. How are you guys feeling after getting this win over Piecemeal?
In all honesty, I was a little nervous for both of our flex matches up until the last match that we had, which kind of gave me an idea of the difference between where we were and where we are, and this further cements that it's a lot closer of a race than I initially thought it was.
Yeah, no doubt. And I gotta say, I gotta shout out, and I cast one of your guys' games early in the season, and at that time it really showcased, and I'm gonna keep doing this. It really showcased Thames on the Probius there. It was a Dragonshire game. It was a couple of warp rifts, instant deletion of whatever hero it was. I don't remember what it was. And that was showcased again tonight. And I got to, because I was kind of expecting it, I got to show it a little bit more. And so,
Yeah.
You could really see just how dangerous Probius would be, especially with his level 20. Right, being able to get those bursts. So it was really entertaining to watch. And so you guys had Infernal Shrines, then you had Alterac Pass. Both of these maps were really good for a hero like Probius that has the good zoning potential. But then you had the rest of your comp. So how did you build your comp? Did you build it kind of around, hey, let's play Probius and then protect the Probius? Or was there a lot more structure to the design and then you just fit Probius into it?
For which game?
Either, both.
Okay, for game 1, that's a pretty standard composition for us, except for myself, the healer. It's pretty much the goal is to just kind of disrupt the enemy long enough for Chromie to lock down with her ultimate, and then Probius to just delete everyone. It's nothing that we haven't run before. Meanwhile, for game 2, it was much more of a unusual composition for us, to say the least. Our big goal was just kind of lock down an area and slowly whittle them down with Gul'dan, because I didn't think Rhaegar could keep up with Gul'dan's damage, and then obviously finish them off whenever we get the opportunity.
Sure. Well, it worked out wonderfully, and I do want to say Piecemeal did a pretty good job of not stepping into the death bushes.
Oh yeah, there was so many times that we thought they were going to, and then they just walked away.
Right. Like, you guys set up some very clear, like, literally anybody on the team that walks into this instantly dies. And they did a good job of doing that. So good to you guys to set those up and have the presence and ability to do that, and the patience that you guys had in some of those as well. There was one I'm thinking of at between the bot keep and the mid lane there on Infernal Shrines, where you just kind of hung out for, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 seconds while you were waiting for maybe Dahaka to come down. And then Kael'thas with his level 20 flame strike over the wall, says, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
right? So yeah, fantastic on that. Also, want to shout out a good buddy of mine, Mongoose. You know, it hadn't occurred to me until near the end of the game in game 2 that literally there was no way that they were going to counter any mosh. And his moshes, there were 2 of them in there that ultimately, you know, one set up the end of the game, the second one completed the end of the game basically. And then you guys just said, hey, let's just delete the targets.
They were 100% brutal.
Yep. So I did raid and then I'm doing this, so my brain is a little bit fried on questions. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, you know, what was your highlight of the night? What was the thing that, you know, you or your team or their team, what was memorable to you about tonight that you want to specifically point out?
Honestly, the push in the bot lane with the boss, I know with Alterac taking 1 keep doesn't anywhere near secure the game. So I had said, take the keep, back out, there's no way we win here. And then everything just lined up perfectly that we managed to end. It's the sort of stuff like that where something completely unpredictable that goes in your favor happens. Those are the types of situations that are very memorable to me, at least.
The unpredictable 3-man mosh that nobody can do anything about. Yeah, those kind of things. You know, and also for what it's worth, in game number 1, you guys had that core call, which, you know what, it seems obvious, but the thing that you guys didn't do is you didn't waste time like stopping and getting a camp, or stopping and getting the lane, or stopping and finishing the 14 shrine monkeys or whatever. You know, you just said, hey, we killed 4 people, there's only Kael'thas, let's just go win the game. And that's important to recognize when you can do that. So
for sure,
just like you said about game number 2, oh, we can actually win the game now. Who's your shot caller? Is that you, or do you have somebody else that does that?
That's me.
Gotcha.
I say it's me. We do kind of have a more unusual setup when it comes to shot calls, but in general, my shot call is the final say.
Gotcha. And you guys as a team, did you guys start in season 7 originally as a team?
Yes, but not with this lineup.
Right. And so it was a Division D team at that time. And how much has changed? Like, is it, you know, 20% the same, just the captain, or how many people are remaining and how many people are new to this season?
The current people who are remaining on the main team are just me and Pants,
Mhm.
and Vane was on as a DPS on the tail end of last season, but he has since dropped to sub for personal reasons.
Sure. Okay. So ultimately you restructure a little bit, you bring in some fresh blood and find your guys selves in Div C, and again, in a very competitive division and looking really strong. So, you know, again, I want to say congratulations. Floor is yours for any shout-outs.
So, first of all, obviously, shout out to Piecemeal. It was nail-biting. There were so many times where I was pretty sure one mistake would have cost us the game. That's what I play that's what I play NGS for. Then, obviously, shout out to Misha, the best bear. And shout out to my friends and family who have been supporting us quite consistently for pretty much every game we've played. And I'm supposed to say bow before Kel'Thuzad.
Okay. Well, and I want to shout you out too. I appreciate you joining the casting team and consistently, you know, getting some of those casts done. Obviously, it's so much. I don't want to say better. Obviously, it's better than not having a cast, but it's very beneficial to the players in the community to have casting. So, you know, appreciate you doing that. Obviously, Mongoose, a caster. So hopefully we'll see him coming back in. Hopefully his schedule allows him to start casting again.
Maybe.
So, good deal. Well, thanks again for joining me tonight. Don't forget to report your wins, and good luck on the rest of your season.
Will do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Alrighty, everybody. So that is going to wrap us up for tonight. So I will owe Ektar a replay cast, we will discuss that. Since that is a non-NGS cast, we'll try to see about scheduling that at a time that you know, maybe Ektar can make sure that he's watching it, and maybe all of the Lurk Patrol folks from the sounds of it. But everybody else, thank you again for joining us tonight. Let's see if we can find if there are any matches still going here. Let's see. Anybody still casting? Bahamut's casting. We can do Bahamut. See what's going on over there. Make sure. Oh, you know what? Weenus is casting. Let's send everybody over to Weenus. Weenus doesn't get enough love. Let's make sure he's not in the middle of ending. They're in game 2, so let's send everybody over there. Once again, everybody, have a great night, and you know, spay and neuter your pets, and don't text and drive, and all of those wonderful things. And we'll see you again on the next cast. Good night. Oh, make sure to tune in tomorrow for the Nexus Gaming Series Game of the Week between Regen Phoenix and Salt Scale Murgles, the currently #1 and #2 Division B East teams. You don't want to miss it. Twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series. It'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. All right. Have a great night. See everybody later. Peace.